Hi friends, welcome back to week 2. Last week we talked about coming out as polyamorous. This week we're going to talk about something a lot more fun, which is dating apps. I got my handy dandy notes app and let's do this. I'll start with Field because it is the most well-known non-monogamous dating app and it's been around the longest. It specifically caters to both people who are looking for non-monogamous relationships and also kink partners. They encourage everyone to use an alias, which is the only app that I've seen that specifically encourages people to do that. And it allows people to be a lot more open in their bios and expressing what they're interested in. The way that the Field UI is set up, it makes it so that your bio is the main focus of your profile, obviously in addition to your photos. But most people actually do fill out a pretty long bio and include a lot of details in there, which I think is extremely important within non-monogamy because there is so much nuance within what type of relationship you're looking for. Are you in a primary relationship? Are you solo poly? Are you relationship anarchist? Are you in just an open marriage where you're only having sex outside of the marriage? Are you looking to couple swap? There's just so many different options within non-monogamy that having a place where your bio is so prominent and that you're able to write freeform in there and explain your personal situation and what you're looking for, it just makes it so much easier to find people who are looking for the same thing. Then on Field, you can also include hashtags, which is the way that their algorithm determines if you're compatible with someone if you're looking for the same thing. So you can put things in there like polyamory, you can put things in there like friendship or dating or texting, all the way up to things like BDSM or kink. Field does have a limited number of hashtags, and it would be nice if there were a few more to kind of get into some of that nuance rather than like kink as a general category or, relationship anarchy or solo polyamory or things like that. So within these non-monogamy focused dating apps, you are also able to pair your profile with your partner's profile, which is an interesting concept because a lot of people are solo poly and just have a lot of partners and not one main partner, but there's just some technical aspects that make that not really possible on the back end. If you don't have a primary anchor partner, then it wouldn't really make sense for you to link your profile to someone else anyway. Hashtag Open is a newer non-monogamy / kink dating platform, and it seems to have really similar functionality to Field. I haven't found any noticeable distinguishing feature other than the fact that you can include a lot more hashtags of things that you're interested in, things that you're searching for, and boundaries, but it's just not really clear what you're really supposed to use those for since they don't give you a drop down or a limited number of options. You're writing them all freeform. And you'll have some people saying that they're interested in hiking versus some people saying that they're interested in brats. And it's where am I supposed to put this? Am I interested in or am I looking for? And then the boundaries, it's also free form. And that's a conversation that you really want to have with a partner or someone after you've started to get to know them rather than putting that in a dating profile. It just seems odd. Overall, Hashtag Open seems to be really, really similar to Field, but the user interface is pretty clunky and I haven't found anything that really distinguishes it. And I honestly gave up pretty quickly. I'd rather just spend my time on Field where the user interface is better and the pool of people is bigger. But I was impressed with the number of people who were on it in my area for a newer app. So I will definitely be keeping my eye on this one as they start to streamline the UI. Next, I want to talk about OkCupid. So OkCupid actually has had a non-monogamy option for way longer than any other app. It was really the first one out there that did that. And if you list yourself as non-monogamous in the app, it's only going to show you people who are also non-monogamous or who have said that they are non-monogamous or open to it. OkCupid actually in theory should be the best of all of these because you get so much information from the questionnaire that you have to fill out at the beginning, and then the algorithm does all the matching for you. So it's showing you people who are the most compatible and giving you a percentage of how compatible you are with those people. I remember using OkCupid 10 years ago when I was monogamous and dating really traditionally, and I liked it. I feel like it was almost too exposing for me. I didn't want to be sharing that information. And now as a poly person, I want to get all the information out there. and find other people who are looking for the same things that I am. So I'd love to have an app that's narrowing that down and giving me people who I'm actually compatible with. Now, I have not used it as a non-monogamous polyamorous person, but one of my partners does currently use it. And so I picked his brain on it a little bit, and he showed me around the UI, which is how I determined like it should be the best one, but they just don't have enough people on there. That's the problem with it, is that he said that he keeps cycling through the same people. So if there is a way for OkCupid to get more people onto there, then it has the potential to be really, really great. Okay, now onto the more traditional dating apps. Only two that have added non-monogamy options are Tinder and Hinge. Unfortunately, on both of those apps, you cannot search for people who are non-monogamous. It is a thing that shows up in their profile, but you can't narrow it down. So on both of those apps, I just had to swipe through and try and find people who had listed themselves as non-monogamous. It is also an optional thing that they've only recently released. And so people would have to go in and update their profiles if they've had them for a while and make sure to add that. Or if they're creating a new profile, it doesn't force them to add it. So you don't actually always know if someone's non-monogamous or not. The other problem is that there is so much nuance within non-monogamy of the type that you practice that it's really hard for these traditional apps to do it well. It's a checkbox of, yes, I'm non-monogamous, but like, what does that even mean? And I spent some time swiping on both of those, and my experience was wildly different on both of them. First, I haven't been on Tinder in like 10 years, and their UI is also like really clunky and confusing, and I just didn't like it. Also, they bury the information about whether you're monogamous or not. Like, you have to search for it in someone's profile, and it's not prominently displayed, versus on Hinge, it's displayed pretty prominently towards the top of someone's profile, looped in with all of the other information about like what you're looking for. Hinge was the first of the traditional apps to add the non-monogamy feature, and Tinder has only done it more recently. So I think there's just a larger population of non-monogamous people on Hinge. When I was swiping, I found that maybe like 10% of people listed themselves as non-monogamous. That's not science. That's like, it seemed like about 10%. I talked with one of my partner's brothers, and he said that his experience was that like maybe 5%, but probably less from his perspective and the settings that he had. So I think it also depends on if you're male or female, if you're looking to match with men or women. If you're within a queer community, then the instance of people also being polyamorous is probably higher, but I found it to be around 10% on Hinge. And like I said, that person that I know who was swiping as a straight male found it to be closer to like 5 or less. On Tinder, I swiped for 30 minutes and I think I saw one person who marked themselves as non-monogamous. So not worth my time, at least where I live. Hopefully it'll get better as, you know, more people know that that is an option on there. But for me, it was like, I'm not even trying to actually find people right now, and this is exhausting. So overall, while it's nice that some of these like traditional dating apps are starting to dip their toe into ENM or polyamory and allowing that community to use their app, due to the nuance within non-monogamous relationship styles, it's just not really possible for those apps to really do it right. And so I don't know if it's something where eventually they will just have like a version of their apps for people who are non-monogamous or what, but right now just checking that you're non-monogamous isn't really that helpful of information. But I am excited to see how they evolve over time and if that changes. Overall, the openness on field about what people are looking for and wanting out of a relationship makes it the safest and easiest option for me for meeting people. And its UI is the best, in my opinion, for all of the nuances of non-monogamous dating and relationship dynamics. Next week, I'm going to be talking about my journey of entering into polyamory with a primary partner and very quickly transitioning to relationship anarchy. So if that's something that you're interested in, then please subscribe, and I would love to see you back here next week. Otherwise, if you can like this video, that always helps with the algorithm, and thank you guys for joining me.